What makes an experience an experience? When race days become race weekends, and race weekends become full-throttle memories.
To the checker, baby! Yeah, let's go!
So pull up in your camper, pick your favorite spot, first race or 50th season.
You did just win again. Oh my God!
A community that lives loud, loves hard, and celebrates every damn second.
Roll Tide and welcome to this Thursday edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. This is Roger Hoover. Great to be with you in our Tuscaloosa studio today because we have a huge weekend coming up right behind me at our Backdrop Road Stadium as well as at Sewell Thomas Stadium for Alabama baseball. It's all happening as you'll learn on this show, Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. We always start the show by taking a look at what's coming up on the program, plus our headlines, thanks to our friends RJ Young. RJ Young is the official technology solutions provider of Crimson Drive. Let's see what's on the show this afternoon. First, we'll be talking softball with Lauren Johnson of the Alabama softball team. Of course, you remember her sister Jenna, who played here and starred for the Crimson Tide for 5 years. Well, now Lauren is doing the same for Crimson Tide softball. Great conversation with her about not just softball, a little bit of NASCAR as well. And then we'll hear from our softball broadcasters, Tom Canterbury, Gray Robertson. They will break down the field that's coming to Tuscaloosa for this weekend's regional and give you some things to look out for as you get set to watch Alabama in the first wave of the NCAA tournament starting on Friday. Then we'll close out the conversations today with Sam Christiansen of the Alabama baseball team as he'll join us once again to talk about his decision to no longer play the rest of this season for Alabama and what he's focused on going into the summer. Starting our headlines with softball, as we mentioned off the top, Tuscaloosa Regional for the NCAA happening this weekend at Rhodes Stadium. Alabama is the #1 national seed. Great recognition from the committee at everything Alabama did throughout the season. So we're excited to see Alabama's postseason journey begin coming up on Friday at noon against USC Upstate. Crimson Tide is also hosting Southeastern Louisiana and Belmont's, featuring a very talented pitcher that Tom and Gray will hit on coming up in our regional preview shortly. Doing to touch on as well, the SEC Pitcher of the Year, Jocelyn Brisky. She has been named a finalist for the USA Softball Player of the Year. Only 10 finalists announced in the country. 2 of them will be squaring off in Tuscaloosa at this regional coming up. So congratulations to Jocelyn Brisky for that prestigious honor, being a finalist for the USA Softball Player of the Year here in 2026. Over to baseball. Now the Crimson Tide baseball team still in the regular season with one critical series to go against the Ole Miss Rebels. Alabama currently in 4th in the SEC standings at 16-11. You've got to have one of the top 4 spots in the conference standings in order to receive that very elusive and very coveted double bye in next week's SEC tournament in Hoover. Crimson Tide currently ranks number 18 in the country by D1 baseball, but worth noting that Ole Miss is in front of Alabama in the polls, even though they aren't in the SEC standings. The Rebels, led by head coach Mike Bianco, checking in at number 15 as we get ready for a fun series at Sewell Thomas Stadium. That's a look at our headlines presented by RJ Young. And now we focus on softball for our next 2 segments, starting with a conversation at the LLH Healthcare Advantage Center podcast studio at Saban Field with Lauren Johnson, who, of course, we got to know when she was a youngster, kind of following her big sister Jenna around Rhodes Stadium while Jenna played for the Crimson Tide. Those two got to play together, and now Lauren is carrying the banner high for Alabama softball from the Johnson family. She joins us to talk about what's ahead in the postseason and a little bit of NASCAR as well. I think you'll enjoy this conversation with Lauren Johnson. Lauren Johnson, you've seen her not only star for Alabama softball, but also host our Road to Talladega series. Lauren, you and Bray Hubbard had some fun talking Talladega the last few weeks.
Yes, we did. And Talladega was last week, and that was even more fun. But yeah, I love talking NASCAR. That's why I wear the number 88 jersey. And for Dale Jr., love him.
Absolutely. Really cool to see that. And again, as you and Bray got to team up on that project, what did you enjoy most about it?
Honestly, it was just so fun, just being able to talk about the new drivers and see some of the old drivers I grew up watching, and it was just so fun. I mean, Ray Hubbard's a great guy, so it was always entertaining.
Still keeping up with NASCAR to this day, you and your family always keeping track on everything going on?
Yes, we were really big into it growing up. I think us getting busy playing softball on the weekends, it kind of leaves out watching, but it is really fun to keep up with.
That's outstanding. Again, you guys did a great job. We ran all of those during Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, of course. And for you, you've been hanging out with Bray doing that project, at the same time playing at a high level for the Alabama softball team. What's made Team 30 special?
Wow, there's so much that makes it special, but we have a a big new bunch. So a lot of new faces, freshmen and transfers included. And we have a lot of people who've been here for 4 years. So it's a lot of bringing the culture in. That's about what we knew, what we grew up with, and being in the team for so long, introducing that to the newbies. And they fully bought in. And as you can tell, just playing together on the field, off the field, we're like really good friends. And I think that shows like how we play.
Yeah, what were some of the team building moments you guys had in the fall, especially to get you ready for everything that came up during the season?
Honestly, like I love like embracing the suck. That's what we call it. I mean, it's hard in the fall, but I think being hard and on yourselves and everything, it brings us closer together. So that was really important. We helped out the newbies, got them introduced with everything, and just going out to eat a lot after practice and just going through the struggles together, hitting after, and we just really bonded with that.
Fall softball is definitely competitive as you guys are competing against each other, but even during the season, how competitive is practice? Because at-bats and spots on the field are very limited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think everyone who plays your position, they make you better. So you compete with everyone who's on your position, but not only compete with them, they make you better, and you learn from them. And just with all the newbies and everything, we really just bounced off each other, and it's super competitive. Bro is one of the most competitive people I know. And so she would challenge us every single practice to make us better. And I mean, if practice is easy every day, nobody gets better. So she did make it difficult, and we embraced it, and we really challenged ourselves.
On the field, what are some moments you're most proud of from this season?
I'm a big fan of defense. So I will say I love the diving catches and going wall to wall, jumping over the walls and diving bodies. That's my favorite. This year, what's one of my diving catches? I don't know. I love every time Texas was really cool. My diving catch against Texas. We were playing on the wall, and I came in really hard and how to do a full out dive, and I didn't stick to the grass, so it kind of looked clean when I slid through. That was really cool. But the Texas series was really cool. It really challenged us. People stepped up in the moments, and it was a battle every game. So that made it really fun.
Those diving catches are great. There
Mm-hmm.
was, of course, so fast when it happens during the ball game. Do you ever like go back and watch them when they do the slow-mo replay? Do you kind of parallel the ground and be like, how did I do any of that?
Yeah, sometimes I do. I make sure some of my dives don't look so pretty. So sometimes I can watch them and laugh at it. But yeah, I do rewatch them sometimes and make sure I was on plane with the ball and not into the ground. But yeah, I do rewatch them, and they're fun.
That's really cool. You mentioned Coach Bro and how she helps lead you. What kind of impact has she had since she came back to this program in this role?
She brought the program back, really. Like, she brought the culture. She brought the 2012 pride back to our team, and she's probably one of my favorite people. Like, literally someone I do look up to. She's not only amazing coach, but she's also amazing mom. And it shows us as women how we can look up to someone like that. And it's really impactful. And she's hard on us, but that's a good thing. That she wants what's best for us. And she's someone that I think as a whole team we look up to, and we see how much she wants us to be good and fight. And it's someone like I really love looking up to, and someone I would love to be when I grow up.
Yeah, she is absolutely outstanding. And I know Coach Murphy, everybody is in a good mindset right now because the regular season is done. You got the SEC tournament coming up this weekend and then the NCAA tournament. Just what has you most fired up for what's ahead? I'm
really excited for the SEC tournament. I mean, we play against the best. We have a double bye, and something that I haven't had my past years. So we definitely have something to prove because the last years we've kind of cut short. We didn't do as good as we wanted to, and we have something to prove. And a lot of the newbies, they haven't been in this SEC position, but it's a dogfight. But that makes it so much more fun, so competitive. I think we came in second place, second place in the regular season. So I would love to win the SEC champ. So that would be awesome. Yeah, we look forward to that coming up in Lexington. Are you excited as well that next year and for the foreseeable future, SEC tournament is going to be played in Madison, Alabama, the home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas? I know people are making a big deal of baseball versus softball field, but you've played there before. It's a good spot. Yes. Oh, it's awesome. I mean, the atmosphere is insane. The stands are huge, and I think we'll bring in every SEC team. We have crazy awesome fans, and that's what makes SEC so special, is that we have so much support and so much love behind our softball teams in every school. So I just know we'll bring out a crowd, and to be on that field, it's just so cool to be able to play in such a big stadium.
So that's where we are now. Alabama getting ready for the SEC tournament this week. But let's go back to the beginning of your softball journey. First of all, tell us where you're from, how you got into the sport.
So I'm from Franklin, Tennessee, 20 minutes outside of Nashville. I started playing softball because my big sister played softball, really. I started off just going to her games, just really watching her. And then I was like, well, Dad, I want to do that too. And so I have a twin sister, and she also played softball with me. And she's a brainiac. She went in a different route. She's the brains, and I'm the bronze of our twin connection. So so we decided to play softball. We played locally until later on and started travel ball, and I just copied my sister pretty much. That's what I can say.
Sticking with your twin sister, do you have that twin telepathy and all that stuff?
A little bit. I wish I had it in the classroom a little bit more. But seriously, she's an engineer. She is getting her degree in engineering, and she's awesome. She has like a NASA internship. So I'm pretty smart too. I even cut myself short with that, but she's a genius. So maybe I'll be like living in her basement. I joke about that later down the line, but no, she's awesome. Yeah, so I wish we had some more twin telepathy, but yeah, we do. We do a little bit.
That's really cool. And of course, talking about Jenna Johnson, your older sister, who played here at Alabama, or just steps away from her old office.
Yes.
So getting to watch her softball journey, specifically here at Alabama, she made the decision to come to Alabama. What was it like when you first started to come down here, watching a lot of her games and kind of getting introduced to Alabama softball culture?
So something that really pops out to me for the culture here and coming to watch her all the time is the Rhodes House. It is insane. I mean, I've been to all of her other games before I committed here, and at different stadiums. No one compares. Like, it's really not even close. I mean, you can barely even hear yourself when you're in the stadium, and I'm like, well, I want to play behind these fans and this place. There's just so much culture, and hearing about it from Jenna, that's how I know like the truth about this program. And you can trust your sister because she really lived through it. But everything's true. The culture's amazing. I want to play under Murph. I want everything that he brings to this program, the honesty and the truth that not only prepares me for softball, but prepares me for life. And I can really, really say that over the past 3 years, I have completely changed. And I think I want to be the best person I can be, but not in softball, outside of softball. So he's really preparing me for life and a job that I'm going to get and be able to talk to people, firm handshakes. So he's really prepared us, and I'm really happy to be able to play underneath him.
Again, Jenna had a tremendous career here at Alabama, a lot of winning, getting back to OKC, which was so important for this program. And then you got to team up with her. I mean, how special was that time?
Yes. So that was my dream come true. Really. COVID brought a lot of terrible, terrible things, but it did bring me to be able to play with my sister. And that was a dream. I know my parents were really happy about that too. So to be able to come down and watch both of their daughters. But yeah, it was awesome. She's someone I always looked up to. I always went to her games. I played with a little bit with her during travel ball. But to be able to be on the field and be in the outfield with her and just joke around with her, have fun, it really brought me back to when softball was really, really fun and got to play without pressure and just have fun with your sisters and your teammates and stuff. So she really brought back the happiness and the joy the sport can bring. So yeah, it was awesome just being able to play and look up to her, to be able to look to my left and to see her. So yeah, it was awesome.
And even after her softball career comes to a close, I mean, she worked with us here at Learfield in this office, the LH Healthcare Advantage Center. And what kind of sounding board was she? A shoulder to lean on, cry on, whatever it may be, when her time ended in softball, but she was still around Tuscaloosa and got to be here for you.
Definitely. She was everything to me, just to talk to her, to cry on, to confide in her, to deal with these situations. And the bonus for her being there 5 years is that she went through a lot of stuff. So she had pretty much an answer for everything. And I got to be able to walk over to here, and I see her in the stands for every single game. So she's really awesome. But not only with softball, I got to see her in her official adult life, you can say, in her job and stuff. And the way that she carried herself and talked to people is someone who I really want to be like. And what made me kind of mad, not mad, but she was a public health degree. Like, she didn't even like do this, but she just jumped right into marketing and being able to talk to people, and that just kind of shows how well Murph can prepare us for life and just talking to people and being ready for a job. So something that I always looked up to, and how she carries herself.
Well, we miss her. I know she's back closer to home up
Yes.
in Nashville working with the Vanderbilt Commodores, but we definitely miss her here. But I know she's keeping track of every single game you have, and she is as locked in as ever, right?
Correct. Yeah, she's up to date on everything.
That's really cool. So, again, part of a great softball family, and now creating your own legacy here at Alabama. And again, getting to be part of a special team number 30. Again, just when did you kind of realize this group was capable of something special this year?
Really, I started noticing it in the fall. I think we have a lot of new bats, new swings, and we're all different, if that makes any sense. We all have a different swing, different throwing technique, but one thing that popped out to me was we were really fun. Like, I genuinely had so much fun at practice that, like, I mean, yeah, I wanted to go home and eat, but I would really love to just hang out with them. And I think being close as a team can show you, like, how far we can go, because I think we were really close as a team my freshman year, and we did have some tough battles, some tough games, but we ended up going to the World Series. And so it matters not when you're, like, good in the moment, but how long your team can stay together. And because the season is long, it's really long, and we've just stuck together and through this whole journey, and it's really exciting. Like, we have some really good group of girls.
You really do. And for you as well, you've had some big moments defensively, like we talked about with the diving catches, but also at the plate and even some pinch hit opportunities. Just take us through your mindset, especially if you're not starting a game, you come off cold off the bench, or we say cold off the bench as a pinch hitter, but how do you get mentally locked in and ready to go, especially against SEC level pitching?
So what I've always thought for myself is that I'm going to prepare as I am starting every single game. So if I'm totally prepared, if I've worked and I've watched all this film on these pitchers, if I've worked my butt off every single day in the cages, then I will be ready for my moment. And if I didn't do that and I had a pinch hit opportunity, or I was starting and I wasn't expecting it, then I won't be ready. So I can go into every at-bat ready for the moment that it brings, and I'll be just as prepared anyway. And what's super important to me is my faith. And so every day, every game, I pray to have strength, peace, and confidence for every at-bat. And I truly do believe that he gives me that. And just believe in myself, believe in my team, and I just try to be simple. Just do the job. If I need to move the runner, I'll get a ground ball to first, if that's what it takes. Like, if there's someone on second. So just to do my job, simplify, and just make things happen.
Things have been happening for you and this Crimson Tide softball team, and ultimately the goal is to get back to Oklahoma City and the Women's College World Series. You mentioned how much you love Rhodes Stadium. How cool is it to have the postseason go through Rhodes on the way to OKC?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, there's no more of a home advantage than we have, and our fans bring it. And I think we definitely bring it too when we're at home. I mean, who doesn't when you literally have the loudest stadium in the country? So I think this will help us, and this will rally us to postseason. And I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun.
That's everything going on in softball. How about in the classroom for you?
Awesome. I love school. I love learning, getting my marketing degree, and it's going good. I got a 4 something. I know I've had all A's for as long as I can remember. So I do love the classroom. I love numbers, and I think it's very fun to learn and to challenge myself.
Any idea what you'd like to do after softball?
I'm pretty open still. I don't know much what I do. I want to do marketing. I love this NIL world that we're going into, and I'd love to be a part of it. I think it's going to grow and be huge, and I'd love to learn more about it and get into something new.
Go to the Johnson sisters for NIL. You could open your own firm one day.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, Lauren, you're doing a tremendous job for Alabama softball. We appreciate all the hard work you've done, not just in the classroom, on the field as well. Just thank you for the time you've given us here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. All the best for what should be a great postseason. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Thank you.
What makes an experience an experience? When race days become race weekends, and race weekends become full-throttle memories.
To the checker, baby! Yeah! Let's go!
So pull up in your camper, pick your favorite spot, first race or 50th season.
You did just win again. Oh, my God!
A community that lives loud, loves hard, and celebrates every damn second.
Thank you so much, Roger. Tom Canterbury alongside Gray Robertson, and we are ready for postseason softball in Tuscaloosa. Gray, it's the best time of the year.
Nothing better than getting a bracket and getting to react to it. And then, man, you've heard me say this every year. Loyal listeners know Friday and Saturday are my two favorite days of the season, of the year overall. Just getting to watch all these teams compete with their seasons on the line, getting to see the scores pour in, getting to see the upsets and the drama and the great finishes and the great performances. Like you said, best time of the year. Nothing, absolutely nothing can beat regional and postseason softball.
And 64 teams in the tournament, and we talk about it all the time too. It's amazing how fast we go down from we have 64 and then we're down to 16 with everybody else having their seasons come to an end.
Yeah, by Saturday night, half the field is gone. So blink and you miss it. And then once Sunday night rolls around, we're down to 16 and we're prepping for super regional. So it does move quickly. It reinforces, I think, the fleeting nature of college athletics, how quickly things can come and go. And all these teams have to be on their A game because we're at that point in the year where if you make one mistake, that's it.
And Alabama had a lot of their A game this past week in the SEC tournament, making the run to the championship game before dropping the championship game to Texas. But overall body of work, Alabama comes away with the number 1 overall seed.
Yes, they did. Not a surprise. If you were surprised, you weren't paying attention. You've got 9 RPI top 10 wins, actually top 9 wins. Shout out to the committee for being ultra specific about that. And just, again, the full body of work, you have all the metrics and also like how did you earn that? Was it by picking up the quality wins? Was it by beating a bunch of top 25 teams? Did you avoid the series losses and the bad losses in the non-conference? Did you take care of business when given the chance before conference play? The answer was yes for Alabama in pretty much every facet. There was one small area, the one Samford loss, that maybe could have been a ding, but it wasn't because all the good totally overtook that, and it was deserved. It was earned, and now this team is, I think, ready to kind of wear that with a badge of honor while also, wanting to prove that they did, in fact, deserve and earn it, not just based on what they did in the regular season, but based on the performance in the postseason.
And led by the SEC Pitcher of the Year, Jocelyn Brisky, and the SEC Coach of the Year, Patrick Murphy, picking that up, I believe, for his 7th time. And what an impressive year for Jocelyn Brisky as she leads this Alabama team into the postseason.
Oh, man. I'm so proud of her. And to know her story is special. To have seen her grow. We've both been there front and center since her freshman year, and hearing from her personal pitching coach growing up about how good she was. Erica Beach, who helped Jocelyn Brisky become what she is as she was growing up, told us from the jump that this was a kid who had it. And as a freshman, she was kind of forced into doing a little bit more than maybe she anticipated as a freshman. As a sophomore, suddenly becoming the ace of a staff, that's a different kind of wake-up call. And now we've seen as a junior her really grow into that role as not just a leader by performance, but a leader by example. She's the one that gets everybody fired up. She keeps her head up if there's a mistake. It's not a backbreaking moment when that happens. She utilized the offseason properly. She got stronger. She got better. She got mentally tougher. And she also was able to combat some injuries. I mean, if you read some of the articles written about her, there's a reason we were shocked to see her week 1 in Atlanta. She was dealing with a pretty serious injury that she was able to come back from earlier than most athletes would. And she's just kept it up from start of the year to now. I'm so proud of her. She deserves every accolade that has come and will come her way. And I can't wait to see what she does with that postseason pressure on her back, because now I know she can truly handle it. And I think she's going to be absolutely outstanding in this tournament.
And someone who got a taste of postseason in the SEC tournament was someone for Alabama who is a top 10 National Freshman of the Year finalist, and Vic Moten got the complete game victory against Florida in the semifinals, and fought through some adversity in that game, and really has shown that she's going to be someone that Alabama can rely on, a definite 1-2 punch at least in the circle for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, 7 walks in a postseason game. I don't recommend it, but Vic Moten made it work. I don't really know how she did it, but well, I do. And a big reason why was strikeouts. She was able to get the big strikeouts when it mattered most. She was able to deliver the big pitches when it mattered most. And that's the kid that we've seen all year. A young lady who rises up when it gets hard. And, coming into the year, I was reminded of this watching the Florida game. We were told like she's got a little bit of Alexis Osorio in her, which is she might walk the bases loaded, but she's going to strike out the side. And frankly, we hadn't seen that this year. She'd been either kind of getting hit or striking out people. There really wasn't an in-between. Free passes hadn't been a problem. We saw that happen in the SEC tournament, and she found a way. And in the postseason, you've got to be able to find a way. And also, you, a team, have to have a second pitcher that you can go to, a second person that you can start, a second person that can come in and get crucial outs, can go complete if you want to win a national championship. And Alabama's got that. Vic Moten, if there were any doubts about that, she proved that she was capable of it by taking down Florida the way that she did in the SEC tournament. And she seems not fazed whatsoever by the stage, which is a very impressive quality to have as a freshman.
For the number 1 overall seed, Alabama Crimson Tide, the Tuscaloosa Regional, not the easiest. It is a very difficult one for the number 1 overall seed to have, and Alabama welcomes the number 2 seed in the regional, Southeastern Louisiana, who we saw a couple of years ago in Tuscaloosa. Belmont and Maya Johnson, who might be the national pitcher of the year, is the 3 seed, and the 4 seed is South Carolina Upstate, USC Upstate, who Alabama played last season. So all 3 of these teams have been in Tuscaloosa in the last 2 years. So there's a lot of familiarity with that, but we've had Belmont here in Tuscaloosa last year, and Alabama never played them. So it's not going to be a walkover at all for the Crimson Tide here this weekend.
No, it's not. I think casual fans might look at this and go, I don't see any Power 4 teams. This must be easy. What a gift for the number 1 overall seed. My response would be, brother, you don't know ball. Let me tell you, these are 3 really good teams. We'll start with Alabama's opponent on Friday. The team, there's only one team we know Alabama's playing, and that's USC Upstate. And this is a squad that was here 2 years ago in 2024, and it was a 1-0 Alabama win. It took a great performance by Jocelyn Brisky in the circle as a freshman and a save by Kayla Beaver to win that game on opening day of regionals. USC Upstate has a very experienced pitcher in Maddie Jurup, and Talia Thomas was, I think, 9 of 14 in the Big South tournament, so she can hit the cover off the ball. They've got a lot of pop up and down the lineup. They've played well against SEC teams this year, so they have some experience. Played a couple games against Auburn this season. They put up 6 runs on Georgia earlier this year, so they can score, they can swing it. They're not going to be a tough out. Our friends at Southeastern are kind of the darlings of the tournament every year, I feel like, partner, because 2 years ago they announced themselves in Tuscaloosa by making the regional final, by beating a Clemson team that we all thought would host that year twice in T-Town, really making a statement, doing it the right way. I love their coach. Rick Freeman is an outstanding human being and a great representative of their university. And they just are so fundamentally sound. They create chaos. Their whole thing, which is what they did last year when they beat LSU a couple times and went to the regional final, something about Tigers. Their whole thing is speeding up the opponent, laying down bunts, wreaking havoc with speed, just getting the ball on the ground, make the mistake. And Southeastern is going to do everything in their power to make Alabama feel that and Belmont feel that. And they've got a pretty deep pitching staff as well that all throw really good changeups. So something that Alabama will have to make sure they fine-tuned, because the changeup has been a little bit of an issue the last month. And finally, the Belmont Bruins, the 3 seed, but probably the most talented 3 seed in the country, I would say. And Riley Spindler is one of the best bats in the Missouri Valley, and Maya Johnson is one of those names that you just know. And it's amazing that we can say that about a Belmont pitcher, but it's 100% true. She is a special kid who's been through a lot, who has been pretty public about her journey. She's talked about it a lot more over the last year, the illnesses that she's fought, the teams who've said no years ago when she was trying to, be a D1 pitcher with lupus. And Belmont took a chance on her. It was a brilliant move by Coach Matthews, obviously. And now Maya Johnson is going to play for the OKC Spark in the AUSL. And what makes her so tough is it's high velocity, it's up, it's down, it's change, and it's east-west. And you almost can't just sit there and say, I'm going to pick one, because there's a possibility you don't see that one because of how many tools she has in the toolbox. So it's a tough matchup for Alabama, 100%. But hey, there's also a possibility you never see Maya Johnson because Southeastern is that good too.
For Alabama, taking a look at what it's been the last couple of years, they were the number 14 seed 2 years ago, the number 15 seed last year. Quite an impressive accomplishment to go from that to now being the number 1 overall seed, and really showing how much improvement has gone into the program, how much improvement has gone into the roster. Everything has taken a next step up and leveled up to put Alabama in this position here this year.
Yeah. And I don't know where we want to start with crediting beyond Patrick Murphy. I really think that Murph did it the right way. He understood what needed to change. He understood that the big thing that didn't need to change was the culture. We didn't need to see Alabama completely overhaul the way they did things in terms of what kind of kids they got. They just needed to change the process about what was done once those kids got here. And I think we've seen the same level of buy-in. Nothing, Mudita is still a thing. Mudita is still here. This is still a program that is built on caring about each other and trying to build players and people for the future. However, they've gone harder in the weight room. They've gone harder in practice. They've been more competitive. I think a lot about how Coach Murphy spoke so eloquently about all the competitive games they did in the offseason and what that was building internally for these players. You got buy-in from the rest of the coaching staff. All the coaches were like, okay, great, let's go. Caleb Rowe is all about it. Lance McMahon is all about it. Adam Arbor, Ryan I. Murray. Everyone has bought into that renewed focus and mission in terms of how we get the kids better on the field and how we make sure that this team is more competitive against the upper echelon of the country. That is all that's changed. The roster building, the people that this program chooses, the way that everyone treats each other, the way that these kids represent the university, that will never change. It hasn't changed. But I think that Coach Murphy did a really good job of identifying what needed to change while not totally switching the identity of what Alabama softball is. That's a hard thing to do in this day and age, in a very transactional world of college athletics and certainly college softball. We see it in this bracket, and he deserves a lot of credit for that, and he got it because he was SEC Coach of the Year.
And just looking at the bracket, if the seeds were to hold and Alabama comes out of the Tuscaloosa Regional, Alabama is matched up with the Baton Rouge Regional, which is hosted by LSU, the number 16 seed, and the number 2 seed in that regional is Virginia Tech. So there is some familiarity there as well. Alabama did not play LSU in the regular season this year, but Alabama plays Virginia Tech virtually every year. It seems like it works out that way, and LSU as well. So we could see some more familiar names should Alabama be able to advance out of regional play.
Yeah, I'm a little torn, right? Because I feel like we've got such good relationships with the staffs and the people involved at both universities. So, should Alabama make it out of regionals, which I feel like they will, but you got to play your game, then I'd love to see Pete DeMore and Virginia Tech. I'd also love to see Beth Torina and the entire LSU staff, Bryce Neal and all our friends. And I think either way, it's a tough matchup. That's the thing that I think a lot of people forget sometimes, because quite frankly, Oklahoma made it look so easy. When you are in the postseason, when you've got the burden of the number 1 seed, that doesn't mean it's just a cakewalk. It's never a cakewalk. In the postseason, everybody's good because either A, you won something to get here, or B, you did plenty in the regular season to earn a spot just based on that. Everyone in the postseason is playing well or has the capability of playing well. There's no crip course or anything like that, you are thrown into the fire immediately. And no matter who Alabama has in front of them, they have to take it seriously. They have to bring their A game. They can't take a pitch off, can't take an at-bat off, can't take a fly ball or a ground ball off. You have to bring it every time. And I think that's one of the lessons that this team is learning still a little bit. We've seen them learn it the hard way at times over the last month. But I also think that they've got the talent that makes them ready to handle that type of task.
Alabama gets their postseason run underway tomorrow at 11:45 will be the airtime, noon, the first pitch for Alabama and USC Upstate here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. You can listen to it in Tuscaloosa, 100.1 FM, as well as the Catfish app and the Varsity app. And Gray and I will have all the action for you as Alabama starts off taking on the Spartans at noon tomorrow. For Gray Robertson, I'm Tom Canterbury. Back to you, Roger.
Appreciate the time. Tom and Gray will be listening to them this weekend for Alabama softball in the Tuscaloosa NCAA Regional. Now it's time to close out our show with some baseball with Sam Christiansen, an outfielder for the Crimson Tide, and as well as first baseman who has been injured throughout the course of this season, but he has joined us 4 or 5 times this year on Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, giving us great perspective on everything he sees from this Alabama baseball team and what it's capable of the rest of the way.
Sam, as we record, we're coming just off the sweep against Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
How electric was that weekend at the gym?
Yeah, it was good. I think the squad needed a little, to get the ball rolling a little bit. They just had a good weekend, so it was awesome.
Yeah, really saw some good performances at the plate from a lot of different guys. And, of course, you're still sitting in a lot of these hitters' meetings. What did you like about the approach Alabama had?
I thought they were just, everyone, really stuck to the plan. We'd go out there, be like, all right, push this guy down. Everyone was pushing him down, seeing him up a little bit, and we didn't strike out as much. I mean, I didn't look at the stat, but I would say we didn't strike out as much as we have been. So I think everyone was really following their plan and just made a lot of hard outs. And if you're consistently putting the ball in play, you're going to get some knocks. So it was a good weekend.
It really was. So, again, at the plate, that was good. And then I'd love to get your thoughts as well on this pitching staff. We continue seeing whether it's starters, relievers, getting a lot of important outs right now.
Yeah, I think before the season, I think a lot of people kind of doubted them a little bit, and I think they've just been out there proving everybody wrong the entire season. We wouldn't be in the spot we are without those guys. And I jokingly say all the time that pitchers aren't athletes, but we got some dogs on the mound, so I'm very happy.
Yeah, of course, you were healthy all throughout the fall, got to face all these guys. Who were some really tough at-bats for you when you were in there?
Yeah, I think Zane Adams was tough, just being a lefty-lefty. Ashton Crowther, every time I hit off him, I was like, all right, I'm just going to hit well, and he's found a way to get me out probably every single time. So he was good. Let me think. Tife, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Tife, he shoves. Caden Humphrey, one of my roommates, he was one of the toughest at-bats in the fall for sure, which sucks that he's injured, but yeah, he's legit.
Yeah, and of course, you're having to go through working your way back from an injury. How tough is it to see Caden go down with the injury when he did in the early in the season, and how's he doing as he continues rehabbing back?
Yeah, it was tough. Me and him were kind of in a similar situation. He's my roommate, so he was always there for me. When I remember I'd drop my phone off my bed or my remote, I'd be screaming out at Humphrey to come help me. And then now he's hurt, and I'm a lot better, so I was able to kind of he didn't really need me as much because he could walk around pretty well, but we talked a little bit and stuff, but he's been good spirits. Me and him just been trying to do as much as we can for this team, even though we can't provide much except for some positive reinforcements. So Caden's been great the whole time.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having him as a huge part of our bullpen.
Yeah.
But in his absence, you mentioned Crowther has really stepped up in some long relief outings. And then how about what we're seeing right now from Matthew Heiberger?
Oh, yeah, Berger's been awesome. Just those two guys have been, and Sam Mitchell, been so important to this team, filling those middle innings of these games, and they come in and fill the zone up. It's just been awesome for us. And
then Hagan, a lot of times you get to see
Banks,
Hagan Banks in the ninth.
Yeah, there's so many guys I just see, but those guys have been so awesome. Banks is just getting in there and filling up the zone every time. So that's all you can ask for.
I make a lot of jokes about how much Hagan's been around this program going all the way back to the 2022 season and stuff like that. For guys like you that are transferring into Alabama, how does he kind of welcome you to the team and kind of fill you in on Alabama baseball culture?
He's just been nothing but a great guy for like new guys, like he's always just like, if you got any questions, like he's always there, like, and but like football games and stuff, or like little things, like he just knows how like stuff's supposed to happen around here, so he's just always been like, oh yeah, we have to go here for this day, and then I'm like, I didn't know any of that, so like you just feel like he's the mayor.
It's a good way to put it with Hagen Banks. That's certainly exciting to see this group. Sweet Vanderbilt play really well. Now just a handful of series left for this season. From your vantage point, what's going to be most important for Alabama trying to close out this regular season the right way?
Yeah, I think going up into South Carolina is like just go out there and like compete how we did this weekend, like just stack together good at bats and like win pitches, like and continue to play good defense. But I mean, if we kind of shift the focus for, are we going to host a regional or anything like that, we kind of minimize it as much down to like, can I win this pitch? Can I win this at bat? Can we win this inning? Just like little things like that. And then I think we'll be super successful if we just kind of have that mindset of just narrowing our sights to just one thing at a time.
Yeah, you've seen the Joe at its best really this spring. How motivating would it be for you guys to get to start postseason play here?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think it would be. I think JJ was talking about, I think they did a super regional or they hosted a regional. I'm not sure, one or the other, but he said it was incredible.
Yeah, 2023 was a special time. Well, more good times ahead for you, Sam Christiansen. We just thank you for dropping by here on Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. All the best. Roll Tide.
Yeah, Roll Tide.
Appreciate the time of Sam. Now it's time to take a look at what's coming up this weekend in Tuscaloosa. It's a lot of baseball, a lot of softball. Here's our upcoming schedule on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Later tonight, baseball starting its 3-game series against the Ole Miss Rebels. Friday's game as well as at 6 o'clock, and then Saturday at 2 o'clock start time to round out the series. Meanwhile, the softball regional will begin at noon on Friday. Radio airtime at 11:45 with Tom and Gray for Alabama against USC Upstate. And then just stay tuned to all of our social media platforms, RollTide.com for the game times and any other information you may need about Alabama softball coming up over the weekend in the regional. Hopefully, we're back previewing softball in the Super Regional coming up next week, and then, of course, the SEC tournament for the Crimson Tide baseball team. Again, follow us on all of our social media platforms so you don't miss anything from us here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. That's going to wrap up this edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. We say thank you to our guests, Sam Christiansen and Lauren Johnson, as well as Tom Canterbury, Gray Robertson, for their always terrific insight into Alabama softball and softball at large as they start the NCAA tournament. For everybody at the Crimson Tide Sports Network, I'm Roger Hoover saying thanks for watching, enjoy the weekend, and Roll Tide.